166th match of the 168 weekly round scheduled fixtures. It's winner takes all. Super League's first ever relegation grand final. Wakefield against Castleford. They haven't paid to get in, but they've got one of the best seats in the house, and they're looking through every vantage point into Bellevue today to see the outcome of this match. Castleford have travelled in their thousands. The Tigers hope against hope that perhaps they will not be going down, although suddenly they are the favourites to take the drop. People believe that the momentum is with the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. Not only is it a match that will decide players, coaches and clubs' futures, it is the mother of all local derbies. Castleford and Wakefield separated by about 5 miles, and they are here in numbers tonight to see exactly what is going to happen. Simply just remember this: Castleford, they will be content with a point, and Danny Nutley will go home to Australia content in the knowledge that he has saved the Castleford Tigers. Wakefield, they're behind the Castleford Tigers by a point in the table, and so simply they have to win to survive. Michael Korkidas, Monty Beetham, Ben Jeffries, Jason Demetriou, they have all got a huge responsibility on their shoulders. They're the home team, they have the wind at their backs, so everybody tells us all they have to do is win. Steve-O, the pressure is enormous.
Certainly is, but you've just got to ask yourself one question: where on earth were all these fans earlier in the season when they really needed that support? We've seen it this year with Wigan. When Wigan were way down at the bottom, the fans there, they really got behind their side. And let's hope that for once, this wonderful big game in this stadium reaches the heights that we expect.
Let's hope so. Richard Silverwood is the referee. He had control, remember, of the Challenge Cup final. There is much more resting on this. Now it's Castleford to kick off. Last week in the game against Salford, they short kick off no fewer than 5 times, and they came up with the possession on 4 of those occasions. What will Danny Brough do here? He'll go short again. Can Castleford get the ball? Yes, they can.
They mean business, and that's the best way to do it. Very nervous moments there by Wakefield, and that's a big hit. They're throwing it at each other already. Adam Watini.
Here comes Danny Nutley. Nutley is greeted by 3 defenders. Korkidas was first in, Samovs was there, and so was Monty Beetham, and Nutley is hurt. The first tackle that Danny Nutley has received, and there's a problem here for the Castleford captain.
Well, they certainly got a bit of a rub in the face there. I think it was Sam Ops that gets the hand across his face.
I think there was a punch in the face as well.
Well,
I think I saw a fist hitting Danny Nutley.
Well, the official Richard Silverwood was in a pretty good position. It takes a lot to knock down this fella, Danny Nutley.
Danny Skelthorpe with a kick towards the corner.
Oh, that'll be a headed feed. It was taken out by Tajalala.
The referee wants to check whether the Castleford man got the ball down.
It's not a try. I think he just wants to know how to restart it. But I think Tajalala's touched this. Yep.
It hits the corner flag anyway first.
It's the corner flag, it's out.
Yep. So it certainly is no try, but worrying time for Wakefield. Tajalala did everything to try to get away from it, but
this is a goal line dropout, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean, we talk about the pressure on the referee, we talk about the pressure on the players and the coaches. How about the video referee, Ian Ollerton, tonight?
Oh, it's nerves all over the place. Brian Noble mentioned it in the build-up to this game. It's talking about their livelihoods. We know that some of these players, perhaps, they may have to just change their entire lifestyle. They may have to go into a 9-to-5 job. It's as simple as that. And that is pressure alone.
Well, Ian Ollerton deciding that the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats should restart with a tap on the 20-metre line. So that's why they are in possession, midway inside their own half of the field. Sam Obbs to Korkidas. Let's take a look at the way the two sides line up. Wakefield, they have got Halpenny at fullback. Then they go Dimitriou, Evans, Henderson, and Semi Tadulala. Jamie Rooney could be so important for them, as could the halfback. Ben Jeffries, prop Adam Mutine, hooker Sam Obst. The other prop Michael Korkidas, good kick downfield, chased by all the Wakefield side. McGilvray in the second row, Monty Beetham loose forward. March, Elima, Katic and Latu on the bench. And the one name I didn't mention but you saw going through there was David Solomona. How important will he be for the Wildcats this evening?
Well, we've seen two very good kicks indeed, creating problems at either end. First one was the blindside kick from Danny Sculthorpe there, and we've just seen Wakefield put a good kick and chase in. Just take a look at the expression on these players' faces. Grim determination.
Here's Nutley again, his second run of the match. Tackled by Beetham. Get the ball away though to Danny Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe is halted by Solomona. He gets a big pat on the back from Michael Korkidas. That was Henderson, and Brough with the kick downfield. Danny Brough, who last season was playing in the Challenge Cup final for John Keir at Hull. John Keir here now, of course, at Wakefield, hoping to keep them in the Super League. Here is the Wakefield side now going through the bottom of your screen. I won't read them all out for you again here, because it's difficult to keep an eye on that and keep an eye on the action that's going out on the pitch.
That's the Castleford side you can see there now going through the bottom. Watch out for Willie Manu. He very often plays a similar role to David Solomona, but at this stage, in the opening stages, both sides just feeling their way into this game and trying to get over the nerves.
Monty Beetham on halfway will play it to Sam Obbs. This is Jeffries. Jeffries was under pressure from Danny Ward. He still managed to get the kick in, and the ball bounces and finds its way to touch over on the far side.
It's a percentage game at the moment. Neither side prepared to do anything different other than the kick and chase. It's just trying to feel your way into this match.
What Danny Ward did then to try and put pressure on Jeffries is a massively important aspect of the game for Castleford today. If they allow both Rooney and Jeffries time to kick the ball, I think they'll have too long in this match coming away from their own try line. Both of them great kickers, and we saw that in evidence at Bradford last week. They have to put pressure on the Wakefield kickers when it gets to the late plays.
Wakefield here are caught offside at the play of the ball, too keen to get out of the blocks. Brian Noble is with us, the coach of the Wigan Warriors. Brian, you know, you were safe a couple of weeks ago. How relieved are you that you're not involved in something like this?
Oh, it's clearly ridiculous that these two teams are involved in this. The nerves must be unfathomable. It's been difficult for us and what these two teams must be going through, but they're into it now, and I think Phil's nailed it. The team that kicks the better and establishes that field position will give themselves the best opportunity.
This is Danny Ward and Henderson, the dummy half. Oh, and Danny Brough, a fumble. But he's got a lot of experience. I mentioned the fact that he was playing in the Challenge Cup final last year in August, just over 12 months ago.
Just had a little peek there as the ball was coming to him. The brain was going a little bit faster than his hands. You're looking for the gap to see, going to make sure of this possession. The error count, that will play its part as well. You can't just keep gifting the opposition the ball and possession for long periods.
Here comes Kevin Henderson. He is up against his brother Andy, the hooker for the Castleford Tigers tonight, and he gets his chance because Ryan Atkins is out of the Wakefield side with a hamstring problem. Adam Mutine will play the ball. Here goes McGilvray. It's going to be a night not for faint hearts, this. David Solomona goes through the gap, gets the ball away. The ball went backwards, says the referee, because Solomona managed to hang on to it. Jeffries will slide the ball down the line, looking for Jason Dimitriou. And the fullback, Michael Platt, came across, was taking no chances, ran the ball out, touching goal.
Good positioning by Platt, had to be as well. Dimitriou put the little stab in right into the corner. Went very close indeed. Good position, as I mentioned. Even tension on the crowd, the youngsters, they know what it means. Isn't it great to have an atmosphere atmosphere here at this ground for a change.
Well, it is winner takes all, it's do or die, but I hope the people who are here tonight, I'm with you, Steve-O, I hope the people who are here tonight actually come back next year, no matter what league the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats are in. Drop out to the halfway, Jeffries is underneath it. Here goes Adam Watine.
Okay, no, Cass, back.
And there's Terry Matheson, the Castleford Tigers coach. 9 wins and a draw. He's probably defied all the odds already. Many people tip them to go straight back down to National League One. If they do, 19 points will be a record haul.
Eddie, this is the big play they've set for. Coming to the right-hand side with Solomona and Rooney.
Here they come with Rooney. There's Solomona. And McGoldrick was waiting for that. He shot out of the line round McGoldrick to stop Solomona in his tracks. Sam Obst finds Ben Jeffries. Jeffries to Korkidas. Korkidas offloads. And that's a gift for Richard Fletcher.
Just a little bit over enthusiastic there, the big fella. But it was the first really open play we've seen from either side. Wakefield just building into confidence. That's the first time we've seen it go through 3 or 4 pairs of hands, and the pressure is not only just on the players, but you could see on the face of the coach, John Keir, as well.
Well, he arrived here, John Keir, and Wakefield were 8-1 on favourites to go down. Suddenly now Castleford are the favourites to take the drop. Great job he has done here, John Keir, no matter what happens over the next 80 minutes or so.
We haven't seen a bomb yet. Maybe they'll prize one.
And Brough with the kick off the outside of the boot, but that will be too long. Danny Brough needs 6 points for career 1,000. He began his career at Wakefield, you know, in academy football. But he's here tonight trying to send them down to the National League One.
Okay, let's move.
That's Dimitri, who's been magnificent for Wakefield all year. Here goes Kevin Henderson again.
Pretty
and that's
high.
a high shot.
Yep. Made the impact first in Nutley and then finished right up. Bump. Squeezed him out. Trying to get his arm down as quick as possible so that Richard Silverwood, the official, couldn't see it. But he got it. Never mind. And sheer frustration, knocking the ball away. We've seen that a lot this season. Some referees pick it up, others don't.
Korkidas halted by the tackle from Danny Brough. Adam Watine again. Wakefield trying to get up ahead of steam. Castleford just trying to take the sting out of them. Sam Obst waits at dummy half and he finds Jamie Rooney. He's missed 8 games this year, Rooney. Oh, that's high. I think Wakefield will take the 2-on offer here. Bit high from Richard Fletcher.
Well, Castleford has conceded more penalties than any other team in Super League, and you've just seen 2 examples. There's nothing malicious, it's just poor technique, really aiming at the wrong part, and it's probably going to cost his side some points. High shot on Jeffries. He's back on his feet. He seems to be okay.
Well, I'm sure that Ben Jeffries not only will be recovering from that as quickly as possible, but he'll be sending the message out and say, hey, listen, if you see them coming for me, at least throw the dummy. Try to make that half break.
John Keir will have said to his team, if there is an opportunity for anything, we'll take it. Brian Noble, has that been your message this year to the Wigan players? It seems so since you went there.
No, not really. You look at the situation, you look at the clock, you look at how much pressure from the opposition, how many defenders have got in the line. There are lots of variables, Eddie. I think this is to settle the nerves. At the start of the game, I probably would have played on there. Even though it's such a tight game and it's a cup and it's percentages, you know, I just think Castleford were creaking. They hadn't defended their line yet. Wakefield needed to have a shot at them. So what you do is you weigh up how you think you're going and how dominant you think you are, and if you think you're going to stay there and score 6 points rather than 2, you have a dig at that.
Jamie Rooney, as I said, he missed 8 games this year, and you have to wonder where Wakefield would have been had he been ever present during the course of 2006. Well, it is a night for biting fingernails, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. Will he go for the short kick-off again? It looks like it.
There it is, high and short, and they have the position again. Instead of defending a set of 6, Castleford are attacking again. That's 2 from 2. Very high on the tee, straight up in the air. Ball is lost by William Manu.
He reckons it's 2-on-1. Looks like he's going to give a penalty, is it? He'll have a little word with his touch judge. Was it briefed out, or was he trying to offload it? Looks as though he's going to set the scrum.
Castleford head and ball, I think.
Ball was stolen. It was reefed by the Wakefield player. And
Obviously
decided
deemed as 1-on-1 rather than 2, otherwise it would have been a penalty.
As it stands at the moment, Wakefield are surviving. They have to win to stay in Super League next year. This now is Peter Lupton, formerly with London and Hull. Danny Ward, preparing for a second successive grand final 12 months ago. How times change for these players.
You get the feeling that Castleford, they think that they've got the power in the forwards to get through this game. Beetham took a man out without the football. They're screaming for a penalty.
Danny Brough with a dab to the in-goal area. Oh, it's going to be a try here. I think it is a try for Willie Manu.
Solomono has made a right deal of that. Manu thought that it would be covered by Solomono, and for some unknown reason, I think he's missed it. The big second rower, David Solomono, should have really got to it. He spotted it well, gets his body to it, and then watch, he just completely misses it.
So did Manu.
Will that be given? I don't think so.
Ian Ollerton is the video referee. Who would have his job today?
It's got to be controlled downward pressure. Oh, that's proved it'll probably be a try. It's amazing with the slow motion replay, and it looks to me as though Ian Ollerton is convinced. It'll come up TRY, I feel, and listen to the crowd.
Try is given. Willie Manu gets the first try for the Castleford Tigers. And there is pandemonium behind the sticks. Willie Manu, first try, the Tongan international, awesome against Harlequins 2 weeks ago. He made a winning debut for Castleford against Wigan in March, and he's got the first try of the night here in the relegation grand final.
Well, intense moments like that. The little kick through there by Danny Brough, and an awful mistake from David Solomono. He's magic with the ball in his hand. Unfortunately, on that occasion, he couldn't get it into his hands.
Danny Brough has added the extras, and Castleford Tigers lead by 6 points to 2.
This is the part of the field, a typical example of how Castleford have scored this year, getting close to the line. There's the one on line, the controversial steal, and the scrum feed. Well, I'm not so sure. Dimitri and Obbs seem to be involved in that penalty. Either way, Castleford got possession. They got to where they needed to be in the field, and the Tigers equivalent of David Solomona chased what everybody else thought was a lost cause, and had the desire to dive on the ball. Important 9th try for Willie Manu.
The big question is, Phil, should he not have gone to try to pick the ball up, but just reefed it, kicked it into the crowd behind the stands? That would have been the better option, wouldn't it?
He would have prevented it from scoring 9 out of 10 times, wouldn't he? On the big one, though, when the pressure counted, he didn't throw it out or even ground it, and Castleford now with a renewed energy. I thought they started the game particularly quickly. They seem to be the sharper of the two teams.
Castleford then with a 4-point advantage, and Wakefield, they owe their presence in Super League over the last 4 years, strangely enough, to their closest rivals from Castleford. They beat Warrington here 50-10 in 2002. Castleford won at Salford, and so the Wildcats survived, and then they beat Castleford at the Jungle 2 years ago to send the Tigers down. So there will be no love lost, no second thoughts from either side here tonight. Well, it's been an absorbing match so far, all the tension that surrounds it, and we've almost ignored the fact that we haven't been to Dave Hatfield and the press benches to find out their thoughts on man of the match. Take your pick, Dave.
Well, I've been absorbed in it like you, Eddie. All sorts of reasons why he stood out for him this season. Tonight, Jamie Rooney stands out as the only British-born and raised player in Wakefield starting 13. His kicking game, that of Ben Jeffrey, is going to be crucial in what's already shaping up as a very territorial game. If they can get into that area, David Solomon can unblock the defences. Although I wish he did better with that kick a couple of minutes ago.
This is Michael Platt, the full-back, and he's in touch.
Got to be a penalty, surely. The tackle was completed. Yep, that's a penalty, all right. And it's Solomona that's come up with an extra trump, but not for his side. It's for the Castleford Tigers. They've taken a quick tap, they're on with it.
Here they come with Lupton. Here now is the centre, Michael Shenton.
Struggling to get back at Wakefield.
It's Danny Ward. Danny Ward up the middle. Halted just 3 or 4 metres away from the line, but they have to... Oh, the fumble! It's a knock-on by Danny Ward.
Oh, what a vital time. Tense shake of the head from Terry Madison. Just eager to get on with it. OK, there was a leg involved, but it was not moving. He should have just kept his cool, taken time, maybe take a step back, in fact, just to make sure he made good contact. Failed to do it. Off the hook.
This is a super tense game, isn't it? This is super. It's got everything, hasn't it? We're getting down the other end of the field and people are dropping the ball, and we've got breaks.
Jeffries is away for Wakefield. Jeffries all the way for Wakefield. Fletcher, he fell over as he tried to chase him down. And Ben Jeffries scores for the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. What's more, right behind the post.
He wants to check whether he's actually scored in one section.
I think he's also checking for a push on the player Fletcher. Back play.
I reckon
he's definitely scored there.
I reckon that is scored. Was there interference? There's certainly a slip. Danny Ward couldn't get to it. He was pulled back. This will be disallowed. There'll be pandemonium here.
I saw Fletcher hit the deck. I wondered why. Now we know the reason.
Yep. He's certainly pushed away. This will be no try.
Well, did he run across the front path of Henderson? There is a collision, there's some involvement, but this is another massive decision. And he didn't need to do it because there's no way anybody on that field was going to catch Ben Jeffries.
I think it's no try.
No try. Penalty kick to the defence. There was interference in back play, and this is where it happened.
Well, he made a superb break, didn't he? Couldn't get anywhere near to him. Danny Ward, and not only was he pushed, he was actually pulled back as well. He's gutted.
Well, we are searching our memory banks up here because there was a try disallowed for something very similar to that in the past 3 or 4 weeks. The problem is all of us up here haven't got much of a memory. But I can remember something about something happening similar to that. There was a man chasing down and he was impeded. Was it Salford? No. Anyway, whatever it was. Brian Noble thought he had the answer then. It's a penalty kick anyway to Castleford, and they are taking the shot at goal. There, the boot of Danny Brough.
It was London and Warrington, Eddie.
You're right, it was. Well done, Brian. You were with us.
Harlequins in Warrington.
Harlequins, Warrington. You're right. And Warrington had a late try chalked off. Brough has missed.
And that could be a costly miss.
That's why Brian Noble's Great Britain coach, by the way. He's the only one on here who's got a memory.
More than 2 weeks.
Yeah, you can see there clearly that Henderson, not only has he pushed him, he has pulled back Adam Fletcher. Away. Boy, this game really has everything. Big hits on the shoulder. Sculthorpe gets up and says, let's carry on, mate.
Here goes Danny Nutley. Let's get down to the side and Bill.
Eddie, this is one of those nights where every little centimetre is going to count, and it's even extended to the kicking tees. We've seen the height that Danny Brough has had with his kicks. Well, there was a bit of a query from the Wakefield camp, apparently, about the height of that kicking tee. I think the maximum is 10 centimetres. Well, Ian McGregor, who's the 4th official tonight, has been down. He's checked things out. He's happy with that kicking tee. And he's just checked on the Wakefield one as well to make sure that they're within the guidelines.
Well, presumably they are. Everything is A-OK with the kicking tees.
Now I pose a question here. What do they do if if say they kick a goal from it and they find that do they take the 2 points?
They've checked it out. They've checked it out.
Okay,
it's
no,
fine.
but if
it was a centimetre, they'd have to get the scissors out.
No, but will they take the 2 points if they've kicked a goal with it?
Well,
I'd like to know that question, the answer to that question.
Well, it doesn't matter because the tees are the right length.
I'm posing a question, say that it wasn't.
He's away again, Dimitriou, almost. That was an important claw back by Michael Shenton. Here goes McGilvray. Hasn't he got something to pay back his team? Kevin Henderson after that little pull back. Rooney. Diagonal kick looking for Evans, finds Evans, back it goes to Monty Beetham. Monty Beetham drops it. And Castleford have the ball back.
They're claiming that Luke Dyer knocked on earlier.
And David Solomona just wagged a finger at the touch judge on this near side.
Well, they may have had the Jeffries try, no try, but you've got to say that it's really lifted this Wakefield outfit.
They needed lifting though, Steve. I think last week they enjoyed being the underdog at Bradford and it suited their mentality. Here with the pressure on us being favourites, I don't think they've started in the opening quarter half as well.
Danny Brough was just looking then for a 40-20 and, well, the ball just took a wicked bounce. And look at Luke Dyer herring down the wing. Colm Halpenny got to it. And so did Ryan McGoldrick. He was not far away.
That's the chase of an underdog, the mentality of an underdog, the hunger and desire to work harder than Wakefield at the moment. And they are in a little bit of trouble here at Wakefield because their attitude needs to turn around quickly.
The one thing that Wakefield must do is not get sucked into a forward battle. They can win this game, but they've got to play it out wide. They've got to give it plenty of air. They know they're making the half breaks.
Kevin Henderson. Kevin and Andy Henderson's dad is in the crowd tonight watching this. I wonder who he's supporting.
Wait.
He'd probably be supporting the game of rugby league, I suppose. Jeffries. That's a poor kick. It's collected by Michael Platt. Michael Platt has started this game brilliantly. Michael Platt.
Oh, he should have passed.
He needed more support. There was only one player alongside him.
Shenton was there. And
here goes Adam Fletcher. Here goes Adam Fletcher. Here's a try for Adam Fletcher of Castleford. It was a wonderful break from Michael Platt. And Wakefield were all watching. And Adam Fletcher just caught them dozing. And the man who came over here from Redcliffe in the Queensland Cup competition, he goes home after today. He might have just played a huge part in keeping Castleford in Super League next year.
Very poor kick and chase, and from that run from Platt, the try scorer Fletcher could see that they were not in a line. What an effort this is. It's no good having a good kick. It wasn't a good one, went straight down the throat of this guy, but the chase was even worse. It's quick thinking. Adam Fletcher said, there's nobody there on that short line side. Is he happy or what? Maybe as happy as these guys, and boys and girls and women, she said.
Well, this starts, doesn't it, with a kick return. Michael Platt dissected a New Zealand Test international and an ex-Grand Final player from Australia, and I'll tell you what, he made it look easy. Outstanding effort there from Castleford. 8th try for Fletcher, no more important. The kick here now, can he curve it in? Not quite.
The kick is waved away, but Castleford have scored 2 tries and they lead by 10 points to 2. Adam Fletcher with the try.
You've got to get the numbers there, and you can see that they were failing to get anywhere near it. You have got to be alert. Katic couldn't get anywhere near him. And from the quick play the ball, Fletcher has made them pay. Super stock. Oh, knock on. How many times do we see that? They scored a great try. Inside, the brain is congratulating themselves, and they've come up with an error.
Kickoffs have been the best place so far, haven't they, other than the tries. 2 short ones from Cass to get the ball back in field position. You question the goal kick at goal when Wakefield haven't been down there. Now a kick-off for Wakefield. Ball back.
Rooney feeds Colm Halpenny. His 45th consecutive appearance, Halpenny. Here is Ben Jeffries. Fires the pass to Sam Obst. He's busy. And it's Henderson and it's Danny Ward who bring Sam Obst down. There's Monty Beetham. Here now is Ben Jeffries. Back it goes to Rooney. He was under pressure. Brilliantly handled out wide by Solomona to Evans. Here is Dimitriou. Dimitriou tips it inside to Solomona again. And Solomona gets the ball away once more. They're trying and testing their arm. Halpenny goes down. Rooney misses out Watine and finds Ben Jeffries. Sam Obst in at dummy half again for Wakefield. Just applying the brakes. In the end has to take the tackle. 8 points behind John Keir.
Surely they'll give it some air this time.
It's with Rooney. And he's going to hoist it wide here, looking for Dimitriou. But well claimed by Luke Dyer.
What a take under pressure. Bang. He knew he had some neighbours around him. Took it ever so well.
And the coaches call it playing hot when the team try and keep the ball alive, as Wakefield have just done in that last set. And it has worked for them, but they must be at the right end of the field and then marry that to some good defence. That's not quite what we've seen here now with a high tackle.
Well, Monty Beetham hasn't been far away from Danny Nutley since the very first whistle 25 minutes ago.
But all that hard work and endeavour to get themselves into a position, just a lack of concentration. Silly swinging arm just above the shoulder. They're playing patches at Wakefield. They're pretty good for 5 and 6 minutes at a time, and then they just seem to lack in that concentration department.
Here goes Danny Ward. Tried to go round James Evans. Solomona was there to help finish him off. Henderson to Brough, and here's Nutley again. McGilvray and Watine with the tackle. Now it's Peter Lupton. And on the charge comes Richard Fioso. They have some pace to Castleford. This is Richard Fletcher.
They're making big impact as well. They're getting over the advantage line.
Fioso again. Monty Beetham stood firm, holding down.
Wakefield defence and hanging back.
Here's Danny Brough. Drop goal from Brough. They'll take everything that's on offer tonight. Danny Brough. 1-pointer, 11-2.
Pretty smart thinking as well. Remember this guy, when he was down at Cardiff in the Challenge Cup final, he went for a 1-pointer early in the game. Everyone said, why on earth has he done that? As it turned out, it won them the trophy. Could that win them survival and keep them in Super League, Brian Noble?
Well, join your 1-point fan club only now.
Stay behind.
You make a really valid point, Mike. The reality is that it might be every little last point, and they're going by this cup mentality. Every break they're going to try and convert and rattle the tins, as they say in cricket, keep the scoreboard rolling over. And that's the way that he won a final with Hull, as Eddie says.
Hold, go.
Castleford suddenly with their tails up.
The power in the forwards, the pack are leading the way here for the Tigers.
This is McGoldrick. Grounded on the 40-metre line. That's 10 inside his own half of the field. Plays the ball to Henderson. Here's Danny Nutley. Nutley makes a half break. Important tackle that was by McGilvray. Last one. And Danny Brough again changes direction, comes back this way so he can kick left-footed. Perfect. Perfect kick from Brough.
The Tigers were in a similar situation last week's game, leading at about this point in the game by a similar scoreline. It's important that they continue the work in defence here now. They clear the line well, they've got to the other end of the field, but defensively they miss too many one-on-one tackles, and individually you must be responsible for stopping the man in front of you. That's the message that the Tigers will have drilled in themselves this week, and the fans watch nervously on. They have to defend well.
Danny Brough, by the way, has just kicked his second drop goal for the Castleford Tigers. His first was responsible for the 31-30 victory over the Leeds Rhinos at the Jungle earlier in the season, when probably Castleford thought after that they would be safe. Halpenny spins the ball to Jeffries. He finds Semi Tajulala. He's halted. We'll play the ball here to Ben Colm Halpenny at dummy half. Infield it comes now to Olivier Elimat, the French international. It's Sam Obst, scampering run from Sam Obst. Great break from Obst. Over the top, looking for Jeffries. And Henderson is there. It's a goal line dropout. Well, both coaches, both teams trying all they know.
He really couldn't see the little fella back on the inside. Tried to just kid the referee that perhaps he'd been impeded. They thought so.
The stakes are so high tonight. We've had 29 minutes of the match. Castleford, if they could have the final siren now, would be safe.
Well, they must be wondering inside what they have to do to score a try. Remember, Jeffries went virtually the length of the field. That was denied when Kevin Henderson held back Adam Fletcher. It was a no try. Two different styles.
This is Nate Katic.
Forward battle from the Tigers.
Gravian, by the way, has just come on. He is Castleford's leading try scorer in the Super League this year with 14. But here they have been caught offside at the play the ball. And 9 points adrift. I think Wakefield will run this, and they are, with Monty Beetham.
Pretty smart move as well. Keep them in the central position rather than kick to the touch. Just a quick tap.
Here goes Katic again. Oh, it's risky. Oh, it's come up for Evans. It's a try for Evans. It's a fluke for Evans. It came off a kick that was just a smack with the foot because Katic had lost it going backwards. And the boot came out from someone and the ball shot into James Evans' arms and there was nobody ahead of him. It was Beetham's foot, I believe. James Evans with the try. And suddenly, James Evans has breathed a little bit of life into the Wakefield challenge here.
Talk about getting the rub of the green. Sometimes you need it. Watch it just spin out. It goes anywhere. Beetham says, I can't bend. It was a superb kick right into the centre's arms. James Evans says, I'll have this. Desperation. What control with the foot.
Well, there's an almost embarrassed look on the face of James Evans, as if his side didn't really deserve it. Again, an important penalty there on the third tackle. He gave another set of possession to Wakefield. And Evans, you see all of his tries from close range, knows when he gets the ball just where to go.
And Jamie Rooney knows where those posts are. And suddenly the 9 points is eroded down to 3. And Wakefield believe again. James Evans on loan from Huddersfield. Suddenly the furrowed brow belongs to the Castleford supporters.
Now then, the official, Richard Silverwood, is just having a little word with Danny Brough. I'm not quite sure what it was all about.
Everyone's measuring the kicking tee, Steve-O.
It's amazing, isn't it? I think he may have just said, ensure that your players... No, he's saying it's got to go down. That's too high. Now then.
It's got to go down.
He's put it back up again.
Sorry.
Well, he just pushed it down and then he pulled it back up again.
And then he gave in the referee.
And then he says, yeah, that'll be all right.
I don't think he pulled it all the way up. It's not as tall as it was a second ago.
Well, it looks all the way up from what we had a look there.
Wakefield have got the ball back anyway.
Well, that was bizarre. Oh, he's been hit. He has been hit badly.
Colm Halpenny is in Disneyland.
That is
They'll play the first knock on here.
Just went straight at him. Oh, just covered on.
Gravian caught him.
Caught him very square with the... I think it's the shoulder, no, the chest. Looks like the chest right into the head. You could see there that fullback was in a lot of trouble.
It's got to be Castleford's head and feet, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it has to be, yeah, sadly. But
Colm Halpenny is in a bit of a state.
Forget about the
that's exactly
game. Forget about the game. Forget about the ball. And all Zed and Baller did is let's just see that this kid's okay.
Castleford head and feet. Castleford head and feet.
Nothing wrong with the tackle. And there's nothing worse when you know you just can't get your head out of the way.
Yeah, Sorry, go ball.
And it's, I think this is a very serious tackle. I think, obviously non-intentional, but when the head hits somebody's chest and your head goes forward very quickly with your chin touching your chest, it's very often now you can have serious spinal injuries. And we just hope now that he's receiving the best possible medical care. They take as long as is necessary here to make sure he's given the best possible treatment. There's a slight positive there that his arms are moving, but I think they'll take as long as is necessary here. And you see the spinal board coming on. One of the advances really in rugby league in the last few years has been the on-field care for serious injuries of this nature. And all of the physios and doctors at all of the clubs now have gone through a serious program to make sure that they know the right processes to go through and ensure that the players' health is paramount.
Well, Colm Halpenny is obviously in a very serious state down there at the moment, and Phil's right, they will take all the time they need. He scored a try for the Wildcats on a 18-0 win, you may remember, that was on Sky Sports 6 weeks ago. That was his 50th try in the British game. This is his 45th consecutive appearance, Colm Halpenny, and there are very concerned faces on the terraces and out there on the field. And let's hope it's just a case of severe concussion, eh?
Well, without a doubt, it was a complete accident. Just couldn't get the head either side of the body. Gravian coming in to do the tackle, and it's you can see the concern on the Wakefield players and everybody at this ground. This is the one point that, forget about relegation or survival, this is more important. Let's hope that this youngster is going to be okay.
Well, he's being you know, it's an important lesson, that maybe I know that the amateur game also has great care as well now, but maybe for anyone watching it, it's important not to move a player instantly. Don't think that he's going to swallow his tongue or anything like that. And Paddy Moran, the Leeds Rhinos physio, talked to me about this and said if ever we can convey the message to people out there, don't move the player. Don't move the player at all. Wait for the correct medical care to attend. It's far more dangerous to move the player than to suspect that he's choking on his mouth guard or has swallowed his tongue. That's a very rare occurrence.
Great concern for Colm Halpenny then, that he has been gingerly placed on the stretcher and will take his leave to warm applause from all four corners of this ground. And I've no doubt that Bill will be hunting the news of Colm Halpenny. Let's hope it's a positive. And we'll bring it back then now for the scrum down, and it's head and feed to the Castleford Tigers, because Halpenny dropped the ball under the ferocious challenge from Gravian. This meanwhile is Richard Fioso. And Richard Fioso is a difficult customer to put down. Here's Henderson. Now it's with Lupton, and they go wide. And it is with the centre, Michael Shenton.
Solomon on the shoulder there, and it's got to be
penalty to Wakefield.
He played it on the wrong spot. Big hit. He was slightly dazed, but he moved off the mark to. That was one big hit, wasn't it? You see how he moves forward. And Solomona stood on the mark where he should have played it. Became quite obvious. Well spotted by Richard Silverwood. Now it's important that Wakefield just settle down here slightly. Make sure they get a good kick and chase away.
David March is on for the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, the only survivor of the last day escapes of 2001 and 2002 for Wakefield.
Oh, Nutley had a go.
Here is Ned Katic. Oh, Jamie Rooney lost the ball under pressure. It has to be said. And I think it was the fullback, Michael Platt, who came to the Tigers' rescue here. It was.
He went straight for him, and you could see there he just had a glance.
It's the second time, isn't it, that Wakefield have split Castleford around that ruck area. They get a quick guy behind the play of the ball and asking him to run faster than the two markers can catch him. It's worked twice, and yet Castleford have survived. They have to tighten up around there, and Terry Matheson was fully aware that that's the area that they're looking to exploit.
Well, it's a vigorous night down here at Bellevue, and that's the understatement of 2006. Nutley, great offload. And that was Dion Bird who was on the end of it. This is Henderson, and it's another big hit by Duncan McGilvray. Danny Brough, Dion Bird again. Dion Bird, who has the distinction of playing for no fewer than 6 different clubs in the Super League, beginning with Paris Saint-Germain 10 years ago. Here is Semi Tadulala, who straightens it up. Will play the ball to David March.
The official, Richard Silverwood, just has to keep a sharp eye out here because tempers are fraying. A lot of push in. There's been quite a few little punches in back play. Players going in, no doubt about it, grapple tackle here. Michael Shenton.
It's probably a good job that we've got Richard Silverwood on duty tonight, because if you look through the record books, there are 11 players who have been sent off in Super League this year, and 6 of them have come from either Castleford or Wakefield. And we had 2 in the last meeting.
Just shows you desperate times, isn't it? Simple as that. To be fair, I think Richard Silverwood has been the best referee this year by a country mile.
This is Latu, Tavita Latu. And that's Jeffries, and this is Solomona.
Did he lose it? It wobbled. Touch judge says no, keep control.
Tadulala to Jeffries, back it comes to Obst. And Obst looking one way and the other, trying to duck under the big man. He did lose it.
Yep.
It's Rooney, and Rooney will attack the line and then passes to nobody. And then it's on the deck again. And Dimitriou did well, and March did even better. And Dimitriou steps out of the challenges, and he scores, Jason Dimitriou.
What an effort.
What does that mean to John Keane?
What's happened over there, please?
The referee wants everything checked around the play the ball area to see how the ball eventually arrived in Dimitriou's hands.
Well, it was taken out. Evans was taken out anyway, so that'll be play on.
Nothing wrong with that.
Neat work from March. Neat little flick. But you don't get better than this, do you? 2 of them had a go. No one decided to go for the legs. Nutley and Ward started it all off with poor defence, and this will be TRY.
Dimitriou, does he get the try for Wakefield? Yes, he does. And the Wildcats go wild. They're back in front.
Well, the one thing a coach can never give a player is determination, and that's basically what this try came down to. And all the ball skipped around on the floor, but eventually it ended up with Jason Dimitriou. And his determination was what sealed this try. Just determined that whoever got in front of him wasn't going to stop him. Last week we applauded him. Here's the mistake by Solomona in the build-up to it.
Definitely a knock-on, Phil, and it has not been seen by the officials. There, Evans gets taken out of it. Watch for the little flick from March, but they had the numbers. They went high, did Ward, and then did Nutley. And by this time, the momentum was always going to take him over.
Well, last week we were applauding Jason Dimitriou for getting out of the in-goal area at Bradford. This end of the field has got over the try line in the right way. Fantastic effort there. You see he's scored 9 tries for Wakefield this year. And again, so many of them due to sheer determination.
And Rooney adds the extras. And suddenly Wakefield have gone from 3 points down to 3 points ahead.
And a very controversial try indeed, because it was quite clear on that replay, and I call it in normal play time, that Solomono had dropped that ball, and it just shows you that if the official does not see it, this is life and death, and it's just amazing. What a take!
Wonderful take from Semi Tadulala. But the thing is, and people will be watching at home now and thinking, well, why didn't the video referee go back and look at that earlier fumble? They are not allowed anymore to go back that far in the build-up to a try. Only back, I think I'm right in saying, to the play the ball immediately before the try is scored.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Eddie, but the point is, it's that Castleford should have had possession.
Well, they should, but that's down to human error. You cannot point the finger at what I'm saying, Steve-O, and people will be screaming about it around the country. You can't point the finger at the video referee.
I'm not. I'm pointing to the guy over on the far side. We've got a little red flag.
Great kick again, measured kick from Jamie Rooney.
The Battle of Bellevue is always going to have some controversy in it. That's the first one, but I think Castleford had enough opportunities to prevent that try and weren't good enough. So, mistake missed by the referee with that handling error. Still, Castleford's defence on their own line, not good enough.
Fierce local rivals over 80 years, these two clubs. This, though, is the mother of all derbies for them, and at stake, well, the stakes have never been higher. I know there's a 1969 Challenge Cup semi-final between the two clubs that took Castleford to Wembley, but this could mean the future of the club going down. It could be the end of the road for either of them, and I don't think that's overstating it, Steve-O. I really don't.
I think you're right, with the advent of franchise coming upon us in the next couple of years, perhaps.
And the £1 million that it will cost the club that goes down next year.
Yeah.
The stakes are enormous. Here is Danny Nutley. There's the half-time siren, and Nutley is grounded by David March. And there are one or two tempers boiling out there. Nutley does not want to leave for his new career, the Sydney Roosters, knowing that Terry Mattison and the Castleford Tigers are playing in the National League next year. But at the moment, Wakefield are halfway home and Castleford are halfway down. Demetriou's try, everything you would expect of a night like this, and Wakefield lead 14-11. Way through this relegation grand final, and Wakefield lead by 14 points to 11 against the nearest and dearest from Castleford. And just to re-emphasise, in case you've missed the first half, whoever wins here tonight will survive to 2007. Whoever loses goes down, although, and it's impossible to play for a draw in rugby league, if Castleford pinch a draw from somewhere, they will survive. But it's winner takes all, and these fans know it, both ends of the spectrum. Wakefield and Castleford, they know that the next 48 minutes is absolutely vital to the future of their respective clubs.
I think Wakefield will be very confident restarting this game with the knowledge that in the final 15 minutes they were finding the gaps out wide against this Tigers defence. But if the Tigers can start with the same enthusiasm and impact that they had in the opening 10-15 minutes, where they utilised their big, strong forwards, good kick and chase game. Lot resting on this young fella, Sam Obbs, as well.
Very much so.
Done a good job in the hooking role so far.
About to get the second half underway here, and Wakefield will be alarmed to remember that on 6 occasions this year they have surrendered half-time advantage and gone in as losers at the end of the day.
Well, you can add to that as well. Castleford 3 times this year have come from behind at half-time to win games. Can they do it now when they're really under pressure?
And they are under pressure, because the clock is now ticking to the end of somebody's Super League tenure. 18 previous meetings in Super League. Cass have won 10, but Wakefield have won 6 of the last 7. So momentum very much with the Wildcats as Brough gets the first long and deep kick in of this second half, but it bounces harmlessly into the arms of Semi Tadulala.
Here we are, Cass, back.
Castleford had to be quick out of the blocks and the chase, and they were. And here goes Jamie Rooney again. Lupton is there, so too is Andy Henderson.
It's been a tough encounter, no question about that, and I just wonder whether John Keir, Terry Maddison, a lot will depend on the way that they do their substitute, who they bring off and who they bring onto the field from the bench. It'll be very interesting, especially in the final 20 minutes.
Here is Solomona, the offload to Jeffries. Infield it goes to Ned Caddick. And Caddick trying to break the line. Latu, Tavita Latu, the New Zealand international. Dummy half finds Ben Jeffries. Jeffries with a great kick. And here comes James Evans. And there's work here to do. And Demetriou all over the the back of Luke Dyer, and it's going to be a goal line dropout to the Castleford Tigers. Okay, well, Bill Arthur, I know, has been chasing the news of Colm Halpenny, which we all want to hear, and he also has Andy Kelly with him, I understand. Bill, it's all yours.
That's right, Eddie. The good news is that Colm Halpenny is sitting up chatting in that Wakefield dressing room, discussing his injury with the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats doctor, who actually came to the Sky OB tender to view footage of that injury, just how the impact occurred. I think he was interested in where the head hit the ground, etc. And the view is that Colm Halpenny is okay. He's a bit groggy, but I don't think he's going to be coming back. He's actually back on his feet now, but still a little bit groggy, as probably a lot of people will be at the end of tonight, Andy Kelly.
Yeah, it's an absolutely massive occasion, isn't it? And you can just see with the crowd, you can cut the atmosphere with a knife. Both sides have looked tense at different times during the game, but slowly and very, very gradually, Wakefield have asserted themselves at the back end of the first half. They're a big side. They're a side now playing with a little bit more confidence, and I really, really envisage that they will go on and win the game.
Still with only 3 points in it, you'd say that?
Still with only 3 points in it, I would say that. I just think they've been through a lot of big times here at Wakefield over the last 7 or 8 years, and tonight the players know what's requested of them. Bit by bit, they've ground out the winning position, and now they've got to push on.
Of course, you brought them up to Super League. It'd be heartbreaking to see them go back down.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard work went into getting us into this position as a Wakefield side, and I really wish that they go on and win the game tonight.
And well done on getting the Dewsbury Rams into Division 1 as well.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's meant for an enjoyable week after all the tensions of a league season.
You made Steve-O's week anyway.
Yeah, well, old Dewsbury lad, you know, if whatever we can do to help him along his way, then we're glad to do that.
Thanks, Andy. Good to see you.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Yeah, it has been a great season for the Dewsbury Rams, and it'll be hard for them next year, but I do know that they are recruiting already for next year, and I wish them all the best.
And great to see Andy Kelly looking so fit and well on the sideline here, watching his old club Wakefield attacking on the last tackle against the old enemy from Castleford. Well, that's a poor pass, lost direction there, but Demetriou again, he turns it into something, but under pressure from Luke Dyer, he's tackled on tackle number 5. It's the turnover.
Just a lack of concentration there. They really didn't need to pay the power play, which that's what they did. It was a bad pass. They really should have been taking that ball into the corner. They did a beautiful kick. And there's quite a few errors coming about. First from Tajalala, and then right at the scrum base, we saw an absolute shocker. So both sides are still nervous.
They are, but it's great news to hear that Colm Halpenny, and we saw him on his feet. I mean, the match is all important, but the player's health is far more important than that.
Here.
Castleford in possession, but it's the last tackle for them. Gravian gets to his feet, plays the ball. It's found its way back to Danny Brough. He's in trouble here, Brough. He still gets the kick in, though. But underneath the kick, or behind the kick, is Jamie Rooney. Brough had a grab for him and then had a second grab and got him in the end. Two bright little sparks there, Rooney and Brough. I mean, the game plan of the coaches, as the penalty is given against Dion Bird again here. Brian Noble talked about the game plan and what the coaches would desire. It's easy to say, Brian, very difficult to do in this atmosphere.
Absolutely, and keeping your composure and keeping your nerve is a difficult thing to do. Staying squeaky clean with penalties when your livelihood's at stake is very, very difficult, but they're both coming out and they're conspiring to not win the game, both teams, with the little bits of errors and penalties at the moment.
And there have been some critical noises about the quality of the matches that we have seen on Sky Sports from the foot of the table this year, but there's nothing wrong with this. It's got everything. Rooney steps out of one challenge and then slides as Dion Bird comes in, pulls him down.
Dominated. Goal dominant.
It's Tavita Latu, who now finds Jeffries, and Elima wrestled to the ground by a robust challenge from McGoldrick, and Elima says that was too robust. It was a grapple tackle, he is claiming. Referee and touch judge view it another way. Last one. Jeffries with a crossfield kick, looking for Tajalala. Well taken in midair by Michael Shenton. And was Michael Shenton tackled in midair then?
It certainly looked it to me. Castleford looking towards to get a penalty, non-forthcoming. Tadulala went for the man rather than the football.
Boy, the Tigers needed this penalty. They are under pressure there now, trying to get out of that end zone. Big kick to touch here now from Danny Brough.
Penalty for offside.
Well,
And it's a relieving penalty that. Look, they're up to halfway.
Both sides have got really, really good hard workers out there. And you've got to look at, say, who will make the difference. And I just get the feeling that Castleford side, the fullback Michael Platt, perhaps he could just provide the speed and the break to turn this game.
It was his offload that found Danny Brough.
And here's my man who I've tipped here now to change this game, Danny Sculthorpe.
Sculthorpe rides the tackle, or attempts to, from Duncan McGilvray. And it's got to be a penalty. McGilvray was lying in the ruck. Sculthorpe stood on him. Now surely Castleford will go for the 2 points courtesy of the boot of Danny Brough.
I'm not so sure. I think they might just pump it right into the corner.
Well, there you go. They have.
Yeah.
I think if Brian Noble was the coach, the kicking tee would have been on the way. Here's Danny Ward. They're looking for 6, never mind the 2.
To be fair, the Tigers haven't put a lot of pressure for the last 10 or 12 minutes of actual play time.
Here's Sculthorpe. Here is Danny Brough. Now it's with Peter Lupton. And Lupton spins away from a challenge from David March. Terry Mattison watching anxiously on as Dion Bird gives the pass to Danny Nutley.
He's got it down, it's try time.
Captain's knock from Danny Nutley. And Nutley gives Castleford the lead again. Almost the wind went out of Castleford's season when Nutley said he was going back to Sydney at the end of this year. He said he didn't want to go home and leave them in the National Leagues. He said he wouldn't be letting them down. And Danny Nutley has just come up with his 3rd try of the campaign. But it could be such a critical one.
What a time to come up with a 4-pointer. And the Brave have been rewarded. They could have gone for the 2. They decided to dink it into the corner. And from that position, Nutley goes there. They were a little bit slow at Wakefield to get themselves sorted out. He got the momentum and he plonks it down. Boy, is he happy.
It was one of the shots of the year on Sky Sports in the last match at the Jungle when Danny Nutley was up on his feet and bouncing and punching the air. That night Castleford lost. Tonight Danny Nutley has just nudged his side ahead.
I think Michael Shenton deserves a massive amount of praise. You know, his catch under pressure at one end of the field really helped start this whole momentum that Castleford went downfield there. Fantastic catch, near to his own line. Castleford moved downfield, they got a first penalty, then a second, and then Nutley has typified the attitude of the Tigers this year. Willing worker always, has got them now in front.
Danny Brough's goal means that he now has 999 points in his career. What a night it would be for Brough if Castleford survive and he hits the 1,000. There is Michael Platt again. He plays the ball to Luke Dyer. And Castleford lifted by the try from their skipper. Half an hour to go. Whoa, Sculthorpe, but he still manages to get the ball away. And Henderson will get to his feet, play the ball quickly to Brough. He's gone for a 40-20. Danny Brough looking for a 40-20. He has missed the 40-20. It's out on the full. Danny Brough says, no way. Let's show him. Just.
Yep. That's enough. That could have just turned the game right around. And he knows it too. Just about 18 inches too strong.
Jeffries flicks the ball back. Sam Obst. Quick play the ball. That was from Kevin Henderson.
But there's little doubt, Eddie, that John Keane in the half-time talk at the Wakefield players would have said, let's go and do it for the injured Halpenny. Let's really give him a good lift. We know he's okay. It's not a serious injury at all.
Jeffries, lovely ball on the inside to Rooney. Quick play the ball again to March. It's Jeffries. Fires the pass to Obst. There must be in here. Monty Beetham. He gets up and scores. Is it a double movement? Oh, Ian Ollerton, over to you. Video referees. Is it a double movement by the skipper, Monty Beetham? Has Monty Beetham come up with a riposte to his opposite number?
Has someone got hold of him? Has someone got hold of him? I think that Danny Brough has not touched him when he makes the impact. That's what the video referee will be looking at. Has Danny Brough got a hold of him? No. This will be given. This will be TRY time, and the Wakefield fans will go absolutely crackers. Brough couldn't get a fingertip to him. That's quick thinking from the captain. It's game on again. Nerves are jangling.
Has Monty Beetham got a captain's try to follow on from Danny Nuttles? Ian Ollerton, what say you? Try to Wakefield. This game has got some twists and turns to come yet. Look at the contrasting pictures when we look at the two sets of supporters. The Wakefield Trinity Wildcats are dancing now. The Tigers are biting their fingernails.
Well, I said earlier that if it was going to make any breaks, it would be out wide. And you could see they come off the line. And Danny Brough was just an inch from getting his fingers onto the back of the Wakefield captain. They went high, he bounced away. Look at that. Dyer came right off the whitewash to try to stop him.
And Rooney here to try and maintain his 100% record with the boot, which he does. It's 20 points to 17. The drop goal means, of course, that neither side can relax if they score a try and kick a goal.
I think both sides now will be, well, it's Wakefield now, will want to make sure that they're the team that scores next. Here you see it's a game of inches. The 40-20 kick just went too far, and then the hands couldn't quite get on Beetham before he grounded for only his second try. Last week, Wakefield prevented Bradford from scoring in the last half an hour of the match. If they can do that again here tonight, they'll be in Super League next year.
But Castleford won't be. And there are anxious faces on the terraces. Brough goes another high route. And Semi Tadulala spilled it, and it went backwards, says referee Richard Silverwood, and he was absolutely in line with it. He was in a great position to make the call. And here he makes another call because Danny Nutley has been penalised for an illegal challenge on Sam Obst. Frustration.
Well, he's furious that the official has not given the knock on.
Complete. Then he didn't elbow on the floor.
They've no doubt what the official should do. And it is certainly not a captain's knock on that occasion. Tried to roll him over and then put the full weight. Certainly looked as though it went back. The official, in my opinion, has got it spot on. Not the best attempt from Tadulala.
Adam Boutine is back out there. He'll play the ball. It's a quick one to March. They can't touch him because they were inside the 10. They were all offside then.
Smart word from David March, the sub, as well. He tried to milk that for a 2-point penalty.
It's Solomona, and here is Kevin Henderson. Ball down, 5 metres short. Tadulala fires the ball to Ben Jeffries. Jeffries back to Sam Obst. Sam Obst wide to go to Evans. They took the gamble. Dyer came out of the line. Nearly got the interception. It's the last tackle. Up goes the kick. Looking for Tadulala again. It's gone backwards. It's Henderson. It's still Henderson. And the ball is out. And it came off the face of Michael Shenton, but the ball played the man, not the other way round. It's a 20-metre restart.
Well, a great effort by the centre. He tries to offload and get it back. Impossible. The ball played the man. And there's no problem there. Shenton couldn't stop that. They have possession. It's a vital time now for Trinity to ensure that they just keep that defence pretty solid. They're finding the gap out wide.
How are your nerves, Brian?
Probably a whole lot better than Danny Ward's are there. It just doesn't help. The Cats have come up with a couple of penalties and a couple of errors that's given Wakefield field position for nothing. And in this kind of situation, they'll capitalise. It'll be a matter of time before they get over the whitewash again.
Good working, boys. Heads in.
Well, he looks very concerned all of a sudden, Terry Mattison. This is a big set of 6 for his team to face. Jeffries will attack the line, gets as far as Peter Lupton. Solomon awaits the dummy half. They come down the left channel again with Kevin Henderson.
2, move, Pete!
All the players are being tackled. They're just taking their time. They don't want to come up with an error.
Here's Monty Beetham again.
Try not to knock on.
Back off, Denny!
Now then, will they do the link out onto the right-hand side? It's brought them quite a few gaps already. They're doing it.
Jeffries, short ball. Oh, they went without it. Danny Sculthorpe flicks it out the back door to Peter Lupton. Here come Castleford again.
I think that's a great example of what Cass need to do. They can't just rely on 5 runs. Danny Sculthorpe there, trying to play quick, trying to play the game quick. Solomon went for the big play there.
It was Ryan McGoldrick, by the way, who came up with that ball, and not Peter Lupton. This is Danny Ward, who's obviously breathing a sigh of relief after that mistake. Brad Davis, the old man's out there to try and give a little stability to the Castleford Tigers.
I think it's speed more than stability, Eddie, that they need. They've got to play the game as quickly, if not quicker, than Wakefield.
Here goes Nutley again.
Castleford realise they've got to get very close to the line to be able to put on a set move.
Brough gets the pass away to Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe fires it wide, and it goes wide again. And they're just overcooking it a bit here, Castleford.
Trying to force a pass when it's not on. With plenty of time. It isn't as though we're into the final minutes. Just wasn't on there. Should have gone to ground. I think he's feeling that it was the wrong option.
Leave little ones alone, will you? Leave little ones
Double
alone.
change by Terry Mattison.
Shortcut. Stay away!
They're trying everything, both coaches, to win this match. It's a kick downfield for Tajalala to chase. And Tajalala's quick, but so is Adam Fletcher. And Adam Fletcher's nerve holds.
How quickly will the Cass players get back? It's a test of their mentality more than anything else. Only 1 score behind in the game, but how are they thinking and what's the body language telling you?
Oh, that's a huge penalty, not standing square. The playoffs start next weekend. We get back to looking at what happens and maybe the run to Old Trafford for somebody. The champions begin with a match against Warrington and Salford, and Leeds do the same on Friday night. And who will it be? Warrington, if they beat St Helens tomorrow, Warrington can finish 5th in the table and can claim the trip to Bradford on the Saturday night. Saints and Hull, top and second, will play the week after, Friday the 29th of September. For once, it's a playoff series that Brian Noble will not be involved in. He's not going on his holidays, though, he tells me. Work to do at Wigan and the Tri-Nations. Planning and scheming.
Oh, what a
Great hit from Watine on Sculthorpe. Davis, fullback, Platt, offloads Sculthorpe, infield again, it comes to Nutley.
Well, if the Tigers come up with a score here, they can thank the winger Adam Fletcher.
Here's Danny Brough.
He got that vital penalty when he ran from dummy half, caught them offside.
Platt gets it away to Sculthorpe, stabs the ball to the in-goal area, it's all over the place. It's a knock-on. It's a knock-on against Wakefield. It's
What a
pressure
great-
from Castleford. What a kick from Sculthorpe.
You see how he just punched it into the ground, hoping that it would sit on its end and bounce up, and that is exactly what it did. Very difficult for Dimitriou to get to that.
Let's get down to the side and Bill.
That's Danny Sculthorpe is in a lot of pain. That right shoulder has an impact from the tackle from Adam Watine, and Solomona is down as well with a problem. Of course, he's had a couple of injury problems in the last few weeks. Talking of injuries, Colm Halpenny, thankfully, is sitting on the Wakefield sidelines at the moment and suffering the after effects of that collision in the first half. He can remember nothing about it. He's got a very sore head. But I did ask him what day of the week is it, Colm, and he said it's Judgment Day. At least he's got that right.
He's been reading the press releases then. He knows it's Judgment Day too, John Keir. I mean, no matter what happens here tonight, whether Wakefield survive or go down, what a job he's done. He's reinvented himself as a coach. And he's given Wakefield a lot of hope. And we're approaching the last 20 minutes of the season. And who's the braver? who wants it more. Nutley definitely does. So does Danny Brough. He fires the pass. Here is Brad Davis. Kick out wide. Dump back down. Keeping it alive somehow. Just can't get the ball down. It was McGoldrick who was so close. Inventive play from the Tigers.
Tremendous stuff here. Basketball, keep it alive.
If they stay here long enough, Steve, they'll score, won't they? You've just got that feeling. They've got somebody, Davis, Brough, Sculthorpe. If they can hang around this part of the field, they're going to find that try.
Here's Sculthorpe. Here now is Willie Manu. And Tadulala with an important tackle on Michael Shenton. Manu's the dummy half. Fires the ball back to Sculthorpe. There's another kick. Oh, it was picked up by Davis and dropped, and it's a knock-on anyway, and it's offside anyway, because Davis was in front of the kicker.
Well, a neat option. Sculthorpe knew exactly what he was doing, so did Davis. Good positioning by Richard Silver with the official. He's caught the old stager offside, only just.
Not sure he is.
Boy, there's not much in it there, is there? That is a very, very fine call. Nearly picked it up as well.
Into the last quarter of the match, into the last quarter of the season for these two clubs, and only 3 points separating them. Here goes Korkidas for Wakefield.
Well, it would be a dream finish, wouldn't it, for the old stager, Brad Davis. Nearly 12 months ago, Eddie, he was the instigator and the man that made sure that Castleford came back up into Super League. Can he be the man that can keep them there?
Kick down the line and the chase is on. And Dyer is being picked up and dumped over the line. It's a goal line dropout here. Such enthusiasm.
Well, Luke Dyer is looking at the official and saying, well, hang on, wasn't I tackled? No, the ball carrying arm did not hit the deck. And that is play on. He should have dived to the ground, made sure. And you can see that arm has not hit the deck. Evans and Dimitru says, we are taking you into the in-goal. It is little things like that that can make all the difference.
Goal line dropout to halfway, and Ben Jeffries. Here comes Adam Watine, driving it straight at Lupton. It was McGoldrick who got the tackle in, though. Solomona, Jeffries. Supporterised from Rooney. They have men wide. Henderson's one of them who went without it. That could have been it. That could have been the moment for Wakefield, and Kevin Henderson dropped it.
I think you're right. I don't think the Tigers would have come back from that. What a step from Rooney. And then the fired pass. Too hard, too high, right into the chest of Henderson.
I think Wakefield have got this ball back here, though. I think Gravian has come up with a mistake, and Katic has swooped. Here is Korkidas. David March waits 20 metres away from the line. Here's Ben Jeffries. Willie Manu gets to him with Peter Lupton. Solomona. Henderson for Wakefield. They only delayed the inevitable when they forced the error a few seconds ago. And Kevin Henderson scores the try for Wakefield that just might keep them in the Super League next year. Castleford can feel the trapdoor creaking underneath them. But Kevin Henderson, what a moment to score your first try of the season. And there is a look of dejection, and not only on the terraces, but also on the field in Castleford colours. And Wakefield are coming home with a wet sail.
It's an amazing game, Rugby League. Only seconds before this, Henderson saw the ball just hit his chest with the try line pegging. Castleford come up with the error, but not on this occasion is he going to lose control of it. And the sheer joy on this lad's face says it all. I may have made a boo-boo earlier, but look at me. My name is Henderson, and I could be the man that has sent not only the fans ecstatic, but has kept the Wakefield side in Super League. It's been built all week. the £1 million game.
And the cool dude just might, or Daddy Cool, isn't it?
Daddy Cool.
Daddy Cool just might be being cool in Super League next year. Rooney hasn't missed with a kick yet. He has now.
Eddie, the turning point in this game was the play by Demetriou and Evans to chase that kick and force Dyer back into the in-goal area. And when you looked at the Castleford players, I think at that point in the game, that's when they realised they were beaten. They went back and they did force the goal line drop out and hang around for a minute or two. But to get Wakefield from one end of the field to the other with possession is so vital. These sides so evenly matched. Being at the right end is what counted, and Wakefield have come up with the points.
Well, Castleford have come from 9 points adrift to the situation they're in at the moment. Wakefield, they have to come from 7 down. I do need Paul Cullen. Poor schools in Warrington, you know.
Really awkward, something like that. Maths, isn't it? The 24 and 17, difficult numbers to subtract.
Here is David March. Here is Adam Watine. The offload to Monty Beetham. Quarter of an hour to go. Whoever goes tonight will go with a record points haul. And you have to hope that whoever goes down will be able to bounce back at the first attempt, but Widnes are finding that increasingly difficult, although they are in the playoffs.
They got the tail tip now of Wakefield.
So have Lee, by the way. Lee are also in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they've got a team called Hull Kingston Rovers sitting like buzzards on the fence waiting to come into Super League themselves. They've all got their own plans for what happens if they go down, but they haven't really been talking about it until the end of this match. And this match is 13 and a half minutes away from being over. And Castleford will fight and fight all the way, but it's a 7-point difference. Davis with the kick down the line. And it just finds its way to touch. There was no rush then from Tajalala.
Is it the other team that need that play more, Brian, really? Wakefield, want to find the side?
Yeah, I think Castleford, while they're looking a bit jaded and they haven't had any ball in now, they need to keep the ball in play because they have every opportunity to get down this end. That just gives Wakefield a lift. They go walk to a scrum. The heat goes out of the game. They can build a set and find a kick themselves, Wakefield, without any pressure. You could have taken 3 players off the Wakefield side with vigorous defence if the ball had stayed in field.
Wakefield in no great rush, of course, to form the scrum. They have now, so time goes back on. Here is Monty Beetham. Tackled by Richard Fioso. Katic is drilled to the ground.
Well, with that 7-point cushion, really Wakefield don't have to keep forcing the ball itself. They just got to play basic rugby league football, get themselves into a good position and ensure that the kick is solid.
Fioso got him by the collar, says the referee. And Samops gets to his feet a little groggily. Solomona shaped a kick, a great offload. Good hands, here goes Henderson again. He has Jeffries with him. Dion Bird manages to cut Ben Jeffries down. Quick play the ball on the last. Rooney drop goal. They'll take the one. They'll take the one. They'll stretch the lead to 8.
Smart thinking, Jamie Rooney. Knew the Castleford were on the back foot. There was no one even thinking about applying the pressure. Great execution. The raised arm of Richard Silverwood has sent these fans ecstatic yet again. Quick thinking. It's not a TRY, but it is a 1-pointer, and it keeps, as Eddie said, that scoreboard ticking. They've gone for the short one again. What a take. He's knocked on.
Oh, Ned Katic thought that he had that ball securely.
Yep,
the referee got it right. Castleford are rushing to form the scrum as you watch this. They have formed the scrum. Again, referee calls time off.
Well, they only need 2 tries, don't they? In 11 minutes, I say only. It's a big job, isn't it? But they have a chance. I mean, the extra drop goal hasn't made much of a difference, really, to the match. And now Castleford have got the ball in Wakefield's half. Who can make a name for themselves?
There's no place for time wasters in rugby league. If you want to get the scrum formed, the referee quickly will call time off once you have all your forwards in place, if you are the side who wants possession eagerly. And that's what Richard Silverwood just did then for Castleford. Wakefield were plodding, Castleford were keen. Time off. No time for time wasters at Wakefield. Great ball, great run for Oso. Tongan international, this fellow. They're not done yet, Castleford. Now then.
He's in touch.
Flag is up, Luke Dyer touched it down. Castleford asking the referee, Mr. Silverwood, to go for the screen.
Let's have a look at this here, please.
And he has called time off, Mr. Silverwood.
Well, he certainly got it down. There is no doubt.
Was he in the field of play?
But did his foot hit the whitewash? That's what the video referee in Ollerton has to decide. Was it also touched by Dimitru? Yeah, his foot's on the line. No doubt about it.
Is it a knock-on from Dimitru then, and head and ball to Castleford from the scrum?
It could very well be that. Because it looks as though it's definitely...
Well, he's going to look now to see whether Dimitru did get a hand to this.
He's definitely lunged at it, Dimitru. I think he's forced that ball. That's a knock-on. It will be head and feed, or it should be. No try. A little doubt as far as I'm concerned. He wants to see there, and yes, I think he has knocked on. He's now seeing whether it went forward. I think it did. This is no time for rushing. Ian Ollerton knows how important it is.
Well, we know it's no try. We're trying to find here how to restart the match.
He wants to see whether it is a definite knock-on.
Has Dimitru deliberately gone for the ball?
I think he has. I think this should be head and feet for the Tigers.
Well, Wakefield have got the scrum. He's obviously deemed that there was no deliberate attempt by Jason Dimitru to play at that ball.
Obviously.
Which didn't look like it from the evidence that we were watching, but still, it's not our call.
Move!
8 points the difference. 10 minutes remaining. Tadulala. Bruff with an important tackle, that was. Here's Adam Watine. He's got Solomona on his shoulder. Here is Solomona. Here's David Solomona. Ball went backwards. Kevin Henderson has it still for Wakefield. Crunched to the ground by Shenton and Danny Nutley. It's March. It's Jeffries. He's got to be one of the pound-for-pound best overseas imports, Ben Jeffries, over the past 4 years. He's taking his time now. Trying to wind the clock down. The referee again calls time off. Just in case there's a bit of shenanigans.
He doesn't shirk work, this fella. And it's been a good combination at times, Rooney and Jeffries. We often say, Brian Noble, that the two half-backs, they can only really be in a classy mode if your forwards set the platform for them.
And I think what we're seeing is Wakefield making half breaks, finding their front. Solomona, Watine coming up with passes, playing the ball quickly, which puts Jeffries on the front foot and Rooney on the front foot, enables them to kick, enables them to play.
High kick again from Jeffries. The ball has bounced. It's a try for James Evans. It's celebration time for James Evans, because Wakefield are going to survive. Castleford are on their way down. A high raking kick from Rooney. Nobody really chased it with any conviction. And James Evans, the man who came to Wakefield from Huddersfield on loan, they went off and played in a Challenge Cup final. James Evans said, I'm going to stay here and try and help the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats to survive. And the Castleford players, the captain and the supporters know survive they will. And Terry Mattison and company are on their way to the National League.
Sadness etched on the faces and the fans of Castleford. sheer delight. Not on that fella's face. It may be a smile on the outside.
It'll be a grimace now.
Yeah, it's a grimace on the inside there. Evans just lifts the thumb. Bang. Plenty of height from Jeffries. Didn't get anywhere near it. Nowhere near it at all, Luke Dyer. Did he lose it in the lights? Who knows? Mr. Evans isn't hanging around to find out. It seals it. And they know it. They talk about the Great Escape. Over the Pennines in Wigan, they played the song time and time again. But what has John Keir done to this side?
Rooney misses with a kick, but it's now 12 points.
He hasn't given up, you know.
Two more tries. Terry Matheson, 2 more tries, he says.
They have to go for a short kick here, and they have to get possession back, but there's still chance.
And it would be the Great Escape. We'll see Steve McQueen come on this field if
well, it will be the draw.
Get out of this.
It will be the draw that you were talking about before the show. Very rare, rugby, but still a possibility.
Impossible to play for one, I said. Well, Castleford now will take it. Well, let's find out who's won the Man of the Match award. Who's going home with the Gillette Sports Pack? Dave Hatfield. They're going to get the knock on. Hang on. Here goes Willie Manu. He's in touch. Willie Manu's in touch. They're trying everything they know.
Yeah, he knows that that's it. That's the ball game. Great work. Solomona is lifted up a gear in the second half. Sheer desperation there from Terry Matheson.
Right, after all that, let's go to Dave Hatfield. Who's your man of the match, Dave?
You know what, Eddie, we haven't really got a clue. It's been that sort of game. There haven't been any stars out there, but in another sense have all been stars. The ones who are staying up, the ones who are going down. Wanted somebody to typify that, you might go for Danny Nutley. Solomon has been great second half. Rooney's done well, but we've gone for the smallest man on the pitch. Half-back hooker. He's been a thorough pest all night. Our man of the match, Sam Obst.
So Sam Obst is the man of the match. Wakefield in possession here with Tavitu Latu. And Sam Obst of Wakefield goes home as the man of the match on what will be a memorable night for Wakefield. One that Castleford will want to forget. And there's another injury here. It's been a committed performance from these two teams.
There's a pretty big hit from Fehoso. Brad Davis appealing to the official, saying, come on.
Well, the referee must tell Brad Davis that under no circumstances should he try and pick up an injured player. It's not his role. He's not a physiotherapist.
Standing in a illegal position, and he was stood there for the last try.
He was for the kick, you're right. He was stood in front of the man tapping the ball. Pinicky, but you're spot on, Phil.
Here he is. He actually pointed to the corner where the kick was going, didn't he, for the Rooney? He was giving everyone a hint.
Come on, you're offside, Danny.
Obst, well, that was a drop goal attempt, I'll tell you. Not a very good one from the man of the match.
Well, I can't believe that he's gone for that. I normally call for it, but really that should have been dinked into the corner, into touch, and just eat up the time.
Well, 3 3/4 minutes, 2 tries to go. 2 tries to score for Castleford. It's all gone a little bit quiet at the Castleford end, but fair play to their supporters. They're not deserting the cause here. They're staying to the bitter end.
Pulling him down.
Penalty against Elimar, holding down.
Hold of his head.
Time is running out, and he knows it. They've got to get on with it. The one thing that I think may have surprised quite a lot of people is that we knew it was going to be a fierce battle. I thought it was going to be a bloodbath. And I've got to give a lot of credit to all those players out there. They have really respected the game of rugby league itself. All right, there's been a little few niggles here, there and everywhere.
It's not over yet.
But they've had a great deal of respect.
They have so far, you're right, but it ain't over yet. Here's Dion Bird. Stopped dead in his tracks.
Wait.
It's Lupton. It's last throw of the dice for Castleford. Times against them as much as the scoreboard here.
Stand.
Davis. Danny Nutley. Forward pass. That's it.
He got the assistance from the touch judge there. And even Terry Madison realises, and the old stager, Brad Davis, does too. I'm not so sure that that really was, but from that different angle, we're not directly in line as the merry flag waver would have been. They start going to the exits, and it's not just the exit at the ground. I'm afraid it's an exit from Super League. I refer
John
to
Keir
Castleford.
shakes hands with Steve Ferris, the man who, in the end, made the telephone call and brought him to Bellevue. And John Keir and Wakefield will be around in Super League in 2007. Sadly, Castleford Tigers won't be.
It's an amazing thing. John Keir is Castleford through and through.
He is. He's a Cass lad, he says, but not tonight. Not for 80 minutes tonight. Here's Demetriou, who has really summed up Wakefield this season over the past 6 weeks.
They've certainly clicked into gear, and you've got to give a lot of praise to their new coach, John Keir. And
here's Jeffries. Here's Jeffries. They're flooding forward. Obst has put it down. That would have been the icing.
certainly would, but the seconds are just ticking away as well.
There's no rush from Castleford now. Unbelievable. He got the poison chalice when he came here. Nobody wanted the job. John Keir did. And it was at this ground where our commentary position was surrounded by supporters who were chanting for him. Neil Fox went on air with us and says to the Wakefield board, go and get him. And they did after that weekend. And Wakefield have not looked back since.
You're right, and I must say that John Keir really should go out of his way to buy Neil Fox a drink. I know John Keir very well. He won't.
Wakefield are staying up. Castleford are going down. It's a sad day for Castleford. They came back in a blaze of glory 12 months ago. They have had 1 year back in the big time. It was always going to be difficult for them. Prior to last year, 2004, the end of, they'd never been out of the top flight. And here they go now, straight back down. We're in the last minute.
Wakefield are proving yet again to be the masters, haven't they, of survival. Time and time again, they have been looking down that long, dark tunnel. And this time, no doubt, John Keir has turned the light on to save them. Freedom of the city, surely, for Mr. Keir.
Well, we talk about Coach of the Year, and we generally talk about the man that sat at the top of the table, and I take nothing away from what Daniel Anderson has done at St Helens this year. But in terms of sheer coaching, we've got a fellow with us here tonight who went to Wigan and rescued them, and we've got a bloke in John Keir who's come here and rescued this club. And that's a Coach of the Year. Wakefield are celebrating survival. Wakefield stay up. David March is Wakefield through and through. And Castleford are heartbroken. And you have to feel for Terry Matheson. 19 points. It's usually more than enough, but not in 2006. And there is David Solomona, who is the hero. And Castleford know that they are going back to the National League and that they will have to rebuild and come back stronger next year.
Well, it's pandemonium out there, Eddie. The fans, they're just jumping the fence. There's just got no control whatsoever. There are Castleford players actually sat down amongst all this. They're now trying to get out of it. Total despair written on their faces. And Danny Nutley, not the best way to go. But what a job that this man has done.
Well, the Wakefield fans will be celebrating. The Castleford captain, Danny Nutley, goes home to Australia and knows that the team he played for this year will be in the National League next year.
Well, they're celebrating.
It's pandemonium on the field, isn't it?
They certainly are, and the officials are trying to stem the tide.
And Terry Mattison and Danny Nutley are going to their supporters. And he just holds his hands up, Terry Mattison, as much as to say, I'm sorry. And Danny Nutley throws his boots into the crowd. Steve will be hunting the fellow who's got those for his Heritage Museum.
Sure will. He's had a fine season, this fella. He's giving
Here's
his
the
all.
skipper, Wakefield skipper Monty Beetham with Bill.
Monty, it was about who held their nerve, really, on the night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was similar to last week. We had a poor start. They started well, all fire, guns firing, but we soaked the pressure and we came back. And I just want to say to the Tigers, I wish them all the best. They've been great this year, and they're going down on 19, which is not a very good. And to their fans and to the rest of the club, I wish you all the best. To my boys and to our fans, the great escape. Thank you very much, Wakefield Trinity.
Just how nerve-wracking was it out there?
I've never experienced it before. I thought I was playing a test match. That's how there was a lot riding in this game, and I was really happy. But look, I don't like relegation at all. Do away with it. I don't like it.
Well, you've survived it this time.
Yeah, we have. And once again, congratulations to everyone in Wakefield Trinity, and we really feel for them, for the Tigers. But stick together and you'll be all right.
Monty, thanks a lot. John Keir, the Wakefield coach, is over here. Let's see if we can grab a quick word with him. John, we don't see you showing your emotions very often, but it was very difficult to keep him in check tonight.
It's absolutely sensational. We've worked really hard for 2 months. The players have responded absolutely sensationally. 66% success rate, that's for you, Eddie. That's 4 out of 6. And we've done it, so it's good, isn't it?
It took a while to get going tonight. I think possibly Cass started off the better, maybe.
We expected them to come out and put the foot on the throttle, but we said if we just played it through, we'd come through in the end, and so it's proved.
John, you've experienced some highs in your coaching career, Challenge Cup, obviously. How does this match?
It's great. We're in Super League, which is what we wanted to do. We wanted to stay in Super League, and we've done it.
And you'll be back next year.
Yeah, we will, and we'll enjoy every minute.
John, well done.
Cheers, mate.
66%. He is the hero of Wakefield now. As he came here, he said he had to win 4 and they'd stay up. He's won 4 and they're up.
If he gets 66% throughout next year, he'll be in the playoffs, and we'll be watching him in the next month of competition. What an amazing season and an amazing league. The 2 form teams are Wigan and Wakefield, and neither of them are in the playoffs.
And Harlequins have put the cleaners through Salford today.
It's been an amazing competition.
You have to feel sorry for Wayne Price. He badly broke his leg at the Quins, and he has been out of the Castleford fight to survive, and he cuts a fairly disconsolate figure, as all the Castleford players do at this moment in time.
Well, it's big celebration time for the Wakefield side. Fully deserved it.
John Key will be here next year, Steve-O, but there are still huge question marks over a lot of the Wakefield players. Michael Korkidas, I understand, is on his way to Salford. There's rumours about all sorts of other players. David Solomona, of course, he's never far from the rumour mill, is he?
Well,
but, I wonder how many of them will actually be here next year to see them through.
Well, it'll be interesting. We will not know until the next few days, but they won't worry about that. They will celebrate tonight. But I would like to just thank the Castleford supporters. You know, the Wakefield fans, they came on, hundreds of them, onto the pitch, and not only that, they went to the Castleford end and they taunted the Castleford Tigers fans. And I pay credit to you people up there. You did not respond. You respected the players. Okay, they've taken it on the chin. They have been relegated, but I thank you for the game of rugby league itself. It is a sad occasion. I always have said it for a long time. Let's do away with it. This is not what I want to see each year.
Understand what you're saying, but you won't have nights like this again when it all goes away. And I don't honestly think it's for former players and commentators to decide. I think I'm with Phil Clark here. I think it's for the clubs to decide. It's not even for the coaches to decide, Phil.
I think it's for the fans, and their voices then ultimately up to the clubs, and the clubs decide what they think's best for the sport. I think there are several good reasons why maybe this isn't the best way for the sport to continue, and I agree with that, but ultimately the fans are the ones who support rugby league, and they are the people who should decide the format.
And there are 11,000 here tonight.
I just keep going back to the status that sadly the Australians have been so powerful. They don't have relegation. Maybe that's something that we should be looking at, that we can bring more juniors through, that you can build on a long-term plan. When you are under the cosh, when you're under the pressure like this, you are in a situation where you go for short-term to try to get out of it.
I know what you're saying.
This could be the death knell of the Tigers.
Castleford players are going to their supporters. Let us confirm how the table has finished at the bottom. Catalan Dragons are exempt from relegation for this and 2 more years, so they will stay. They will be around in 2007. All the clubs decided that before this season began. So if Catalan finished 12th, whoever finished 11th would be in the National League next year, and sadly that is the Castleford Tigers. They have lost here tonight in front of 11,000 people by 29 points to 17. It's a night for reflection for them. They will doubtless be dejected and disappointed, as will their supporters, but there is joy for the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats and their fans. No doubt we will continue to debate about how good or bad relegation is for the future of this great sport when we return, but we will have some more views and opinions when we come back, and we will just look back at this game as well. 29-17, Wakefield win.